Welcome to 90 Days in Stardew Valley. Now you may be wondering what happened to days 91 through 100, because this was originally supposed to be 100 days in Stardew Valley, and the answer to that is I had my computer wiped at 90 days without ever making sure that my Steam profile was updated. But ignoring that, let's begin. On day 1 I started strong creating more kegs because I found out that I needed more money. I also sent my axe in to Clint, along with buying a mill and going and mining rocks because I really wanted to get to level 100 in Skull Cavern and I was not getting down without 100 staircases. On day 2 I visited one of my favorite members of town, George, and also went mining for more rocks. On day 3 was the Egg Festival, which of course I did win the egg hunt, because I refused to lose to a child or an NPC, much less a child NPC. Day 4 I went to upgrade another tool with Clint, and I also went to see George again, and picked up one of the big tasks that was due in one day to catch 10 sunfish. Unfortunately I read sunfish as sandfish, caught 10 sandfish, and then gave up for the day. Days 5 through 9 I mostly spent getting rocks, although I did go and upgrade my tools a few times in the process, and also started using my greenhouse on day 6. I also created a new mayo maker because I was having too many eggs and not enough mayo. Day 7 I grabbed some salmon berries, and day 8 I traded in my last gold tool to be upgraded. On day 9 I also went to the wandering trader who did not have any walleye in stock, and my goat Steel gave birth to a baby goat who I named Timber. 10 I traded in my pick to be upgraded so I can no longer go mining, meaning I cleaned my farm, which I know I say a lot, but I actually did some progress today. Day 11 I just went around and completed some tasks, and found out that once again the wandering trader was not selling a walleye. Day 12 I picked up my pickaxe and went back mining. I kept going mining for the next 3 days, taking a few breaks to plant more things in the greenhouse, drop some things off at the museum, and go to the flower dance, which I did attend alone, before finally reaching level 100 in Skull Cavern on day 16. I did have to wait for the bus, and I did climb down virtually every single floor, which Mr. Key did make fun of me for, but I simply don't care because all I wanted to do was get to the bottom. I cannot explain the relief I felt finally completing this goal, considering I no longer had to spend my entire day mining in Stardew Valley. Day 17 I unlocked and bought the auto grabber, and I also bought a fish pond because I'm tired of fish besting me in this game. I also gave another gift to George and finally got to 5 hearts with 4 town members, which honestly is pretty embarrassing to reach in spring of year 2. The problem is I don't care about anyone in this town besides Krobus, and that may be to my own detriment. On day 18 I went to see one of my other favorite town members, the Wizard. And I also decided I needed a new massive goal, so my new goal is to get 333 Omni Geodes so I can get the magic cowboy hat. Day 19 marked the beginning of summer, so I went and bought all the seeds I could need for the season from Pierre, along with an apricot tree to get rid of the task I've been hoarding for about a year. I also put a sturgeon in my fish pond. 20, when I finally got my hoe back from Clint, I actually planted all the seeds that I had brought the previous day. Day 21, my roommate Krobus gave me a gift and a star drop, solidifying his spot as my favorite town member. I also went fishing to try to get the legendary fish, but did not succeed. On day 22, I did catch a legendary fish, and decided I should start doing the quests in the Adventurers Guild. On day 23, I gave out 2 diamonds to Krobus and the sturgeon fish, and found that the wandering trader once again was not selling any walleyes. On day 24, I bought a silo and went around and gave some gifts to the town members, specifically because I wanted to be able to get into Caroline's greenhouse. On day 25, I did complete one of the goals for the Adventurers Guild and got the napalm ring, which did start my hatred for the napalm ring due to the fact that I hate when the rock crabs lose their rocks. On day 26, I upgraded my house and tried to go in Caroline's greenhouse. Unfortunately, it was raining, so I couldn't actually have the cutscene today. Day 27, Krobus gave me a gift and I accidentally gave it back to him and he did not appreciate it. I also went fishing for some reason, I couldn't tell you why, and I got the cutscene in the greenhouse, so I was finally able to grow my own tea. Day 28, I worked on more quests for the Adventurers Guild. How many did I say I needed to kill? It was something on the order of 61. And on day 29, I embarrassed myself at the luau by turning in a sweet pea instead of literally anything else. Hello everyone. Oh, the mayor and the governor and his purple outfit. Which hurt more due to the fact that I was going to give milk and decided against it because I was like, who wouldn't like a sweet pea? The entire town, apparently. Day 30, I was working on a quest to get 25 gold star veggies so Pierre can sell them at a massive markup and not give any credit to me. I also finally completed my quest to get Pale Ale to Pam, and I worked more on the Adventurers Guild. On day 31, I gave a gift to both Krobus and the Sturgeon because the Sturgeon are needy and because I love Krobus. I also finally got tea saplings, and I got a baby goat who I named CMU, or Concrete Masonry Unit, because my goats are only named after construction materials. I also gave Puzzle a new hat. Whoa. Whoa, you look so spiffy in the hat. Okay, you know what? I didn't mean to do that. But now that you're wearing the hat, I think that's the right look for you. Day 32, I solely worked on the Adventurers Guild. I spent the entire day in the mines. Day 33, I went fishing all around Pelican Town and also completed some tasks. Day 34, I worked on the task to get 100 hot peppers shipped out by the end of the season. I worked on some other tasks while I was at it too, and also upgraded my house. Day 35, I spent mostly in Skull Cavern getting Omni Geodes, although I did spend a good amount of time in the casino, and got one of the rare crows that I was missing. Day 36, I turned in more gold star vegetables and also built some more kegs because I love having money in this game. I have so much to do now that I'm not running around with $3 to my name. Day 37, my house was upgraded and I went and added all of the extra rooms. And I also started using the casks, which I had never seen before. I also donated to the museum and got a Krobus cutscene, which was actually very entertaining to watch. On day 38, I put more stuff in the casks. It took a while for me to figure out what was actually allowed to go in there, but I got it. I also got more Omni Geodes, worked on my farm, and shipped out more peppers. And got the farm computer, which I don't actually think does much, but I do love it. Day 39, I got more Omni Geodes and worked more on the Adventurers Guild quests, along with getting some more tappers so I could build more kegs. Day 40, I finally gave a rabbit's foot to the truck driver outside Joja Mart. Day 41, there was a train that dropped absolutely nothing, so I went to Skull Cavern to get Omni Geodes to make myself feel better. Day 42, I finally finished the quest for hot peppers, and also bought a new fish pond. I also gave Haley a gift because I decided we should be friends. Day 43, I had to give my sturgeon some Omni Geodes, which I thought was really mean, so I had to go back to Skull Cavern to get more Omni Geodes. I also passed out in Skull Cavern and went back to the Adventurers Guild to pick up 2 rings that I had earned from their quests. Day 44, I pulled my first Iridium Star thing out of the casks, and also bought a barn, as well as cleaned my farm, and I actually made a lot of progress today. I cleaned out a whole corner. Day 45, I finally got the star fruit for Kent, and also picked up a task to get 100 bug meat, which I have never successfully completed. I don't know why I keep thinking I can do it. Day 46 I mostly spent in the mines. Because it was the last day of the season, I also went to the Dance of the Moonlight Jellies. Day 47 marked the first day of fall, so of course I used a rain totem to make sure that I could finally catch the walleye the next day, because I needed the community house to be done. I also donated some things to the museum, planted a bunch of crops, picked up a giant quest to get 24 eggs to Gus, and had cutscenes with both Clint and Shane, and built more casks. Day 48 started out with a bang, because I finally caught the stupid walleye and completed the community house. I also bought a pig and a fish pond and a barn and moved everything around on my farm, along with finding the meteor that crashed a while ago that I could never locate. I will say it was kind of bittersweet completing the community house because I do love the Junimos, but they deserve to be where they want to be and not be tied to an abandoned house. I also completed a bunch of tasks, including finally getting Emily her apricot. On day 49, I put a squid in my fish pond. On day 50, I gave Krobus a gift, and built the boat because the cutscene from the community house finally happened. And because I had been so close to completing the community house for so long, I had everything for the boat saved up, and since I couldn't actually make it to Ginger Island, I went back to Skull Cavern. On day 51, I put a bunch of things in the Joja Mart bundle, along with finally making it to Ginger Island, where I did get a bunch of golden walnuts, and made it into the farm, but couldn't afford the farmhouse and had to go home for the night. On day 52, I found out that the furniture Krobus puts down is permanent. I also got the quest from the pirate's wife and did about half of it. I added more to the Joja Mart bundle and got the Dark Talisman to get into the Witch's Swamp. On day 53, I actually made it into the Witch's Hut. And then when I went to the Wizard's house, I got stuck there because I'm not good enough friends with him to go back. And then I went back to Ginger Island and did some farming. On day 54, I completed the quest for the pirate's wife, and also decided I was going to tackle the volcano. And I finally unlocked the farmhouse so I didn't have to run all the way back at 2 a.m. On day 55, I reached the top of the volcano where I got the Crusader enchantment on my sword, which basically means that I do more damage to the undead. I also got the professor out of the cave he was stuck in. Day 56, I worked on my farm, I went fishing, and I unlocked the movie theater. On day 57, I completed more tasks and donated to the museum. On day 58, it rained in Ginger Island for the first time, so I picked up my gem from the bird. I also unlocked the Parrot Express, which is great because I love not having to run around everywhere. On day 59, I worked on tasks, including killing a lot of skeletons, and I started renovating my Ginger Island house to actually be functional and not be empty, save for 2 beds. On day 60, I got a bunch of iridium cheese out of my casks in the basement. On day 61, I found out that I most certainly cannot afford to upgrade Pam's house because I do not have $500,000, but I did upgrade my barn. I also went to go see a movie, which did have Krobus in it, but they did not like the fact that I went alone and I had to sit alone and I wasn't allowed to buy snacks. The 2 out of 10 would not recommend. I'm a little hurt, if you couldn't tell. I also went back to the volcano and then passed out, and then found out that I don't have to go back to Pelican Town if I pass out, and I can stay on Ginger Island, which was a great discovery. On day 62, as soon as I made it in the volcano, I found out it was the day of the Stardew Valley Fair. Unfortunately, because I passed out, everything I had been hoarding in my inventory for it was gone, so I had to come up with some things on the fly. But I did win. And then I bought sunflowers, because Krobus likes the sunflowers that are in my house, and I decided he deserved a gift. On day 63, I established that my fish and my fish ponds are needy. And also it rained again on Ginger Island, so I got another free gem. On day 64, I cracked open a bunch of geodes with Clint because I was not capable of doing them myself. I gave some gifts to my fish and my fish ponds, and I also missed the boat, so I stayed at my farm for the night. On day 65, I finally hit having made $1 million in my career, completed the frog task, all 3 parts of it. I opened the shop in Ginger Island, and I started doing the tasks for the professor and the tent. On day 66, I went fishing and I unlocked the beach resort, and I also hoed my entire farm. It did nothing, in case anyone was curious. On day 67, I went in the volcano and worked on my farm. On day 68, I did all the things I had been neglecting back at my normal farm, which included taking care of all the animals and switching out all the wine with new fruit, and just other regular chores. On day 69, I got starfruit seeds because I missed the Junimos and wanted a Junimo hut. And I also picked up some tea. I also did some farming and found out that you can close the resort. I also went fishing for skull fragments. Day 70, my pig Flute gave birth to a baby pig, who I then named Organ, as in the instrument and not a general name for body parts. I also went in the volcano and I also passed out. On day 71, I made it into Pirate's Cove. It rained, so I got another gem, and I made a bunch of kegs. On day 72, I went back to Skull Cavern and got a bunch of Omni Geodes. And on day 73, I upgraded my barn to be a deluxe barn. I went back to Skull Cavern, and it was Spirit's Eve, so of course, I got a golden pumpkin.
Days 74 and 75, I spent in Skull Cavern, although on day 75 it was the first of winter, which of course means that it was Krobus' birthday. Now, immediately after this day, and for the rest of the recording, I was convinced that I had forgotten Krobus' birthday, but now going back and watching, I did not. So, happy birthday, Krobus. I also built a bunch of preserves jars, got a new hat, and went fishing. On day 76, I picked up the rock task for Emily, and also hoed the entirety of Pirate's Cove. Once again, it did nothing. Don't ask why I keep trying this. On day 77, I gave more bones to the professor in the tent. I also finally got the magic cowboy hat, and look how cool I look in it.
Puzzle got a new hat, I built a fish pond, and I went fishing.
On day 78, I really felt like a farmer pulling everything out of my preserves jar, and I also gave one of the gems for Emily to the fish by accident, securing my hatred for the fish ponds. I did give the rest of the gems to Emily, but I couldn't finish the task this day. I also gave a gift to the wizard. On day 79, I completed tasks for both Lewis and the wizard, and I did a bunch of planting of crops. Day 80, I got my starfruit, so I finally built a Junimo hut. On day 81, I finally completed the rock task, and the rock task is actually a crystal task. I don't know why I keep calling it the rock task. I also finally cracked open some Omni Geodes, which I haven't done in so long just because I was saving up for the magic cowboy hat. And I sent my last tool to be upgraded. I also tried to catch a legendary with fish stew, and it did not work. On day 82, it was the ice festival, which of course I won. And on day 83, I went fishing again and actually caught the legendary today. I also picked up a task to clear garbage out of the waters and got a baby goat who I named Brick. Day 84, I did some more tasks,
and I looked at all the fish that I'd yet to catch and decided I was going to get all of them.
On day 85, I got a ridiculous amount of letters and also got the stonefish, marking the first of the final fish I needed to catch. On day 86, I completed some tasks, I worked on my farm on Ginger Island, and I went in the volcano. On day 87, I finally got the Cinder Clown shoes, which looked a lot cooler in the little picture than they did on my feet, but I digress. I also completed some tasks and put a lot of roe into preserve jars.
On day 88, I built more casks, exchanged gifts with Krobus, and got a squire hat for my horse. Day 89 marked the first day of the night market, where I got a new hat that I gave to Puzzle, and he looks absolutely beautiful. He looks like a princess. And I also went fishing, because what else is the night market for?
Day 90, I went farming and finally went through the little door in Mario's room to be able to leave, and that was very exciting because I'd never been through it before, and I just love walking through all the doors in Stardew. And I went fishing at the night market, and I got a statue of a frog. And then I sent my computer to be updated, and I didn't make sure that Stardew Valley had updated in Steam, and now I'm back on some day of summer. So I'm never opening this world again, just for my own pride. But thank you for watching 90 Days of Stardew Valley. I wish I could have been 100. I wish I hadn't accidentally reset the world, but I'm excited to apply all my knowledge into a new world and not make the mushroom cave again. I kind of regret that I've only ever used the mushroom cave, and I'm very excited to have the fruit cave. It's in my name. It's fitting. Anyway, thank you for watching this. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you here again.